Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 31st. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So let me set up this room real quick and we'll get started. All right, got that set up. A couple other things here. There we go. Just go on here. We're good. All right, solid. One last thing, and we're good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. There we go. All right, solid, guys. Looks like we're good. All right, cool. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Just a reminder, today is Thursday, March 31st. It is the end of the month. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So we will get started shortly. One thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that the market is a bit manipulated at the end of the month. If you guys are familiar with the options market, a lot of options expire at the end of the month. So you want to be careful with the market in general, but we'll see. We'll try to make the best of it. But we will identify what the bias is, and we'll try to trade in that direction if possible. But obviously, if not, we will try to figure out what the best direction is for the day, because it looks like market's been kind of choppy this morning. It was bearish from London, but then it's kind of like going into a bigger range right now. So morning, Peter, morning, Solo, morning, Marlon, morning, Steven, morning, everybody. Let me check the news real quick. I know there was news this morning. So for the news this morning, we had core PCE price index and GDP. So that's probably why the price kind of moved a little bit. We also have OPEC all day today. Let me go ahead and set up the news price over here real quick. News price is at 5:30, which is right there. And let me see if there's any other news price that was around that period too. It's just 5:30. You have news again at 6. Actually, we have Fed Member Williams speaking right now. Then we have Chicago PMI at 6:45. And then we have natural gas storage at 7:30. So we do have some stuff coming up. I'm going to mark that up over here as well. 6:45 and 7:30. All right, so 6:45 and 7:30 right here. Put that on the other chart as well. Clean this up. All right, 6:45, 7:30, 6:30, 7. All right, guys, cool. So we got this all set up right here. If I set up the news, yeah, I think it was like 5:30. All right, it looks like everything's pretty much set up for the most part. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the liquidity right here, and then we can get started with our analysis of the bias for today. So liquidity right there. There's actually a lot more liquidity on the top side. But as you guys have seen from pretty much all of our sessions, the liquidity ends up, can you guys hear me? Let's see. Mauricio said, good morning, Sean K2. Hey, Sean, are you mute on my end? Yeah, I think it's on your end, Mauricio. It might be your volume. Just turn it up. Sorry, I thought I was muted this whole time. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, cool. All right, solid, guys. Thanks for confirming that. So yeah, it looks like we have quite a bit of liquidity on the top side over here. Other than that, I think that's it for now. So there's a lot of liquidity on the top side. There's not really much on the bottom, but definitely a lot on the top. Let me get over here for the clean chart as well. Shouldn't take too long because it's mostly just the top. Let's see, get that. And I think that's it. All right, cool. So we got everything marked up here on the clean chart. We have everything marked up also on the markup chart. 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. So morning, Arain. Morning, Jazz. Morning, Madhu. Morning, Professor. Morning, Peter. Morning, Matt. Morning, Miles. Morning, Rashida. Morning, David. Morning, Steven. Morning, everybody. All right, guys. So market is going to open shortly in about 2 minutes. Let me take a look at everything over here. Morning, Jessica. Over here on the retail sentiment, it is currently 61% short. Looking over at the fundamentals right now, it is currently 64 points in the red, so it's not very heavy. Looking over here at the news, I don't think there's really much going on right now with regard to CNBC. I'll refresh this real quick to show you all of the indices. As you can see, the indices are a bit split right now. The Dow is down to 64 points, S&P is down 4 points, and the NASDAQ is up 12 points. So NASDAQ's up, down, S&P are down. However, they're not down that much, so they can easily swing to the upside, on market open. So I could assume that happening because we do have a lot of liquidity on top right here. So I do see price pushing up to some extent at the very least. So we can probably see that happen on open. Other than that, let me check the Ukraine and Russia news to see if there's any updates. Not really. I mean, it's the same thing going back and forth. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, it says 148 children have died in the war. It's a given. Other than that, nothing really else that's been updated here. So market is going to open in about 40 seconds, guys. Morning, Dave. Morning, Al. Morning, Lisa. Morning, everybody. Morning, Andreas. So if we're looking for the breakout here, we're looking for either a strong red candle or we're looking for a strong green candle with a buy signal. Currently, we have a red signal right here for a sell. So momentum's indicating a sell right now. However, when the market does open, this can easily shift to the top side. The reason why I'm anticipating a shift to the upside is because retail sentiment is short. So we generally trade opposite of retail sentiment. If that becomes the case, then we will be looking for a buy here. However, you can see this huge spike to the downside. Don't chase this right here. Market is not open yet. So just keep that in mind. Let me check the news this morning from earlier. News was actually negative this morning, so it might be having a late reaction to the news. Core PCE, price index, pretty much everything here, unemployment claims, it was all negative, but price didn't really drop that hard. And you can see this huge area of manipulation right here, right? Price dropped and then it came right back up. It literally filled the drop that just happened. It's a huge drop, like 540 pips. So be very careful, guys, with your entries today. There's a lot of red flags today. It's the end of the month. There's a lot of news this morning. They did release unemployment news, and NFP is going to happen tomorrow. So it's a lot of things to look out for. This whole week is usually a bit of an iffy week for NFP. It's either a really good week or it's really choppy week. So something for you guys to pay attention to. So other than that, I think that's it for right now. If there's anything else here. All right, other than that, if this closes as a strong red candle, this would technically be the breakout. However, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not really looking for sells here overall, guys. I'm looking for buys because the retail sentiment is 62% short. So I'm definitely looking for sells here. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently 118 points in the red, so they're conflicting. Fundamentals are pointing towards a sell. Retail sentiment's pointing towards a buy. So overall, I think price is going to be a buy. Temporary direction is probably going to be a sell just for now. It's not a strong red candle, so this would not be the breakout. So no breakout off that entry right there because that was a weak red candle. It was a huge wick on the bottom side. In order for it to be a strong red candle, there needs to be little to no wick on the bottom side and or little to no wick on the top side for a buy. I'm going to go and mark up opening price over here at 630. So this is opening price. Price is actually above opening price right now because that big drop that happened before. So as you can see, price is just rejecting off opening price right here, off this candle. We'll see where this candle ends up closing. Looks like it might not close below it. It might just keep ranging around this area before it shoots right back up. So this blue line right here is going to be opening price. This is news price from earlier this morning. You can see the huge drop. Price pretty much came tumbling down, but you can see this candle right here might fail to close below, which is what I'm not surprised with right there. So as you can see, price bounced right off opening price, and then it swing right back to the upside. In order for us to get a breakout, we need either a strong red candle to indicate it's in the direction of momentum, or we can get a strong green candle with a buy signal. So two different scenarios here. We have about 2 minutes for the breakout. If the breakout doesn't happen, completely fine. We'll be looking for any V3, V2, V1, V whatever entries that will be pushing the direction of momentum. So we need to confirm the technical bias here. That's going to be the main thing because the retail sentiment and fundamentals don't match right now, obviously, right? You can see the retail sentiment and fundamentals are both opposite. However, the fundamentals are starting to weaken. So they're starting to swing back to the upside. You can see price is rejecting from opening price and it's rejecting off the sessions right here. So with that said, it's doing pretty much what I anticipated. I mentioned that price is probably just going to range around this area before it ends up shooting right back up, right? So we got one more candle for the breakout. If this candle here doesn't close with a strong red candle or a strong green candle with a buy signal, then there's not going to be a breakout for today. You Kenny, morning. All right. Mauricio said we should have a combo V trade called V whatever, right, Mauricio? That might be one. 19 is asking that's not a buy. No, there's no buy because there's no buy signal. You're trading the direction of momentum. So as I mentioned before, you need either a strong red candle or you need a strong green candle with the buy signal. Second confirmation right here, confirm trading the direction of momentum. So confirm the direction of momentum. Momentum here is a sell because most recent signal is a sell signal. We don't have a buy signal here, so there's no buy. So this right here could technically be, it's a bit subjective. This could technically have been the sell entry right here for the breakout, but it's just too risky because it's right at opening price. So I mean, it's obviously not one that I would want to take. Also, it's going against retail sentiment. So I really wouldn't want to take it, but as you can see right there, this candle, if I rewind it, you have to be paying attention like right away. So like right there, you can see the strong red candle that we were looking for. The requirements here, confirm direction of bias. So there's no confirmation of bias. As I mentioned before, the retail sentiment is indicating a buy, fundamentals are indicating a sell. So they're both like right down the middle. I mean, there's no strong confirmation, but obviously there's a bias for a sell and there's a bias for a buy. The technicals over here are obviously a sell. You can see the trend meter is red and the price is below the pivots. However, it's not a very strong bias, right? So with that said, I mean, all the requirements here would have been met for a sell. However, it's not one that I would have wanted to take because it bounced off the sessions right here. And also it's going towards opening price. So with that said, the requirements were met, but they weren't like a strong confirmation because the first requirement here wasn't all lined up. Generally, you want these all to line up. However, everything else lined up pretty much fine. We had the confirmation of direction of momentum. We had a sell signal right here, so we're only looking for sells. We had a strong red candle right here, little to no wick on the bottom side. You could have entered right there on the close of the following candle for 500 pips. And if you had it run, that's where price is currently at right now. However, it's not one that I'm going to hop into. You know, sometimes I hop into the speculative moves, like where I try to catch the last 100 pips. For this one, I don't think I'm going to do it because the bias is just not strong enough. Here, let's see. And that was also a V1 as well, just like CT said. So yeah, that was also a V1, and it was also a breakout. So breakout right here, and then also a V1 right over there as well. So variation. This is what CT is referring to. The only difference with this is that there's no pending momentum. So this would be like an original V1, but since there's no pending momentum in that direction, it wouldn't have qualified. And it's right at the session. So there's just a lot of red flags here why I wouldn't take it, but it looks like Steven took it. So Steven said goal reached. Nice work, Steven. Yeah, so Steven did take it. He caught it full TP. So, or he got it to like half TP at least, looks like. So nice work, Steven. Yeah, Steven's been trying to try different variations to his breakout. He's been trying to micro scalp within the breakout move. He's been trying to go to half TP. He's been trying to move a stop loss and profit. I mean, you know, there's different ways to apply your exit. The entry is always going to be the same. There's requirements for the entries, but your exit will always be different. You know, it depends if you want to go to full TP, which it looks like it's going to hit full TP here, or you could have moved your stop loss and profit, or you could have trailed it, or you could have taken micro scalps within it, or you could have exited at half TP. It's really up to you how you guys want to exit. I know I can teach you guys how to enter, but exiting is always going to be up to however you guys want to handle your position. Some people want to hold it onto it longer. Some people want to let go of it quick. It's just up to your preference and your risk appetite. Nice. Yeah. Steven used a 5 lot. He closed at 1,000. He reached his 1,000 goal for the day. So nice work, Steven. Tiana said just passed another challenge. Nice work, Tiana. So cool. We got like 4 people who passed FTMO or 4 different challenges this week. Steven over here just reached his profit goal. So great work. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. All right, Steven, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back to our analysis here. Let me just take all this stuff off because we're not in that position. You can see right here, price is coming back up. It's rejecting off opening price. We'll see if it ends up closing above it. Otherwise, we need to confirm what the bias is here. We don't have a strong bias for the fundamentals and retail sentiment. So we need to confirm what the technical bias is. Basically, what I'm looking for right here is I'm looking for a confirmation that price is either going to keep pushing up or the price is going to keep pushing down. We'll leave it as is, and we'll see where price goes. Looks like price may be going sideways from this point. But if not, it's all good. We will be following along to see where it goes. David said, so we can consider the end of month also market will behave like Trap Tuesday. Yeah, so there's like a couple of dates on the calendar, guys, where you guys can probably keep an eye out for when the market's gonna move a bit weird. It's gonna be the first of the month, the last of the month, Tuesdays for whatever reason, and Mondays and Fridays, obviously. Those days are usually gonna be risky because Monday, market's opening from the weekend. Market's been closed for like 2-3 days. Monday, because market's barely opening, it's not in full swing, so you're gonna get some weird movements since not everyone's in the market yet. And then Fridays, you're gonna get weird movements because people try to pull out of the market towards the end of the session, right? A lot of people, there's like different types of traders out there. Short-term traders who don't want to hold over the weekend. There's long-term traders who do want to. So you'll see people who sell off at the end of the week, and then at the end, like at the last like hour of the market or last 15 minutes, you'll see a lot of volatility because people either selling or they're buying because people want to get out while other people want to get it to hold and buy for a small little discount over the weekend. So just keep that in mind, guys. There's always going to be different different factors to pay attention to when you guys are trading during specific days of the week or during days of the month. So anyways, here we go with the break and retest, guys. So you can see this candle right here. This green candle broke and closed above the opening price. It retested right here. If this candle right here closes above the sessions, then this will confirm the bullish bias, right? So we have the pattern here that's set up. This candle right here broke above this opening price. This candle right here retested. And this next candle right here is going to confirm the bullish bias if it ends up closing above, right? It hasn't done that yet. And you can see right here, it's failing to do that because it's pulling right back below. It has about 10 seconds left on this candle. Hopefully it can close above. If not, then we're just gonna have to wait for another confirmation. One question from DeAndre is asking, hey, Sean, how did you change your risk management when you started trading? So your question is kind of like open-ended. I mean, depending on what you mean by changing your risk management, I don't really know what you mean by that. I mean, otherwise, because there's different ways. Like there's either you're asking, how did I stop trading bad? But there's like from there, it opens up to different questions. It opens up to me saying, okay, I stopped trading bad because I stopped over leveraging, I stopped over trading, I stopped taking dumb trades, right? That's the real key. There's no changing risk management. Risk management is always gonna be the same. Or like risk management means using proper risk management as using the proper lot size and using, the proper identification of trades. So your question is, if you could be a little more specific, I could probably answer that better. But if you're asking about risk management, you don't change risk management, you use proper risk management. So I went from using bad risk management to proper. But yeah, if you want to, you could probably save that question for the mentoring session. We're not going to answer any questions here during the live. We're going to be focusing on looking for trades. So hopefully that kind of answers your question there. But risk management and habits are different. I think you're referring to the habits. Like, how did my habits change from a beginner trader to a more seasoned trader? All right, anyways, back to the charts, guys. You can see right here, price is literally just going sideways now. Price failed to close above the sessions right here. So there's no bullish bias. Now price is now ranging within this area right here, right down the middle. So you can see the high and the low right here. Price literally just going sideways. Going over here real quick. Let me go and just edit this clean chart. So from the clean chart over here, just going to mark up the same things we had not too long ago. We also have news coming up shortly. So just keep that in mind, guys. A lot of red flags in the market right now. News is coming up in about a few minutes. All right. So as you can see, price is just ranging around here. And then we have news coming up right here in about a minute. Yeah, Eunice said V3 on the 5-minute, very risky though. So yeah, there's technically, or actually no, not yet. So no V3 yet. But if it does close, possibly pending. No, it doesn't look like it's gonna close. But you guys can see where price is ranging from, right? If I zoom in a little bit, you guys can see here, it's pretty clear. Price is ranging between, let me use a different tool. Price is ranging between the sessions right here and the opening price right here. And there you go, price just dropped with the news event. So news right here, it's at 645. Price just spiked below, but you can see price was ranging between these two areas right here, which was the sessions and opening price. We'll see if this candle here ends up closing below, or if it just swings right back up into the range. All right, thanks, Peter. So Peter confirmed that the news was positive. Looking over here at the calendar real quick. Yeah, it's pretty positive, very positive actually, 6.29, 62.9, 62.9, it's pretty up there, forecasting to be a lot less. So right here you can see, when people saw the news, obviously everyone tries to buy, right? That's why I don't trade news, because the news was super positive. So what happened was it spiked price down basically to stop everybody out. And then it comes right back up. So we'll see what happens here, but overall the news was positive. So I wouldn't be surprised if price comes down a little bit, stops everybody out and swings right back up. So nothing here off the 5. See where this ends up going. But not much has changed. As you can see, price is kind of pushing back into this area. It just became a bigger range. So the range was a little bit smaller between these two lines right here. This red line, which is the London low, and this blue line, which is the opening price. And if this candle here closes above, you can see it's going right back to it, right? So it's right back to the range. This was like a little manipulated push due to the news, and it came right back up. And now it's back to where it was before the news even happened. Right there, right down the middle, between these two dotted lines right here. So when price gets into areas like this is where you want to wait. You want to be patient and disciplined, waiting for price to confirm. So in order for us to confirm, we need price to break above, retest, and confirm, right? Once we get that, we can start looking for buys, no problem. But currently right now, until that happens, you're just going to see price going right in between this area the whole time. You don't want to be in here because if you're going to buy right here and price comes back down, you're going to get stopped out. Vice versa, if price comes down here and doesn't end up closing below here and confirming as well, a price can spike back up and stop you out as well. So, just looking at the market right here, you don't want to enter any trades here because this range here is pretty wide. So if you calculate this range is about 700 pips. So if you enter for a buy here and price pulls down 700 pips, you're going to lose, right? Or vice versa, if you enter a sell right here and price pushes up, you're going to lose as well. So if you took a buy here and got faked out, now price is dropping. You have gone stopped out. Again, right here, if you're chasing the sell and you end up entering a sell because you lost this buy, price swings right back up. You lost again a second time. So this is what hopefully you guys are understanding, like this is the risk that comes with taking risky trades. You can technically trade during ranges, but I personally don't recommend it because you can get burned a lot of times before you actually get lucky, or you can get lucky a couple times before you end up getting burnt. So whether you took a buy here, you've gone burnt out. If you took a sell right here, you've gone burnt out again. That's like maybe 2 or 3 losses right there if you're trying to gamble within this range. So just be patient and wait for a direction to be set. You don't want to be trading when price is going sideways like this. You want to wait for it to do something like this, break above, retest, and then just take buys from here because you can ride this all the way up to news price right there, or vice versa. If price comes below here, the same thing in the opposite direction, right? So as you can see, price is attempting to break above. Let's see if it actually closes though. So it needs to close above this area. This is fine. If it closes, it just needs to close above this red line. This is the main area it needs to close above, the sessions. Once it closes above, we just want to confirm that retracement. After we confirm the retracement, confirm the confirmation of a bullish bias, and then we can take trades in that direction. I'm obviously looking for buys here because retail sentiment is short. So we're definitely looking to do the opposite of everybody. If everyone's selling, we're going to be buying. If everyone's buying, we're looking to sell. So looking at this right here, it's currently 60% short. Bit wishy-washy with it right there, but still. Anyways, let's see if there's anything else over here. There we go, the retest around that area. So looking over here, let's see, question from Lamar. Lamar is asking, good morning, Sean, is the 1 minute stop, is the 1 minute stop loss still 300 pips? I mean, depends on the strategy, Lamar. If you're applying the V3, it's not going to be, it's not a set number. That's the minimum 300 pips. But if you're applying one of the other strategies, a lot of them are set at 300 pips. So it just depends on like what you're applying. It's from strategy to strategy. So if you have a strategy that you can add, if you know what strategy you're talking about, then yeah, I can give you the confirmation. But if you're applying the V3, it's not always going to be 300. It can be 400, it can be 500, it can be 700, who knows? Just depends on what the strategy is that you're applying. If you're taking a breakout on the 1 minute, it's 500. So if you could be a little more specific, I can answer that, but I don't have any specifics as to like what strategy you're applying. All right, so here we go. Price broke and closed above it. Now it's coming down for the retest right here. And then we can push it to the upside. Rick said so rejected. So no, Rick, I don't think you're like halfway, or you're not even halfway there yet with the strategy. Price needs to break and close above it, retest the sessions. It hasn't retested it yet. And then you need to confirm the direction. So price is broken and closed above it. It still hasn't retested the area yet. So the second step hasn't even filled. So you're not taking a buy yet. You're taking a buy when it closes above the high here to confirm that it's actually going to push above. So yeah, I think you're getting like way too ahead of yourself, because the thing is, if you enter a buy here and price doesn't end up rejecting off it, price can easily just come back below. So there's two scenarios here. Price will either reject off it. If it closes below here, then price might be dropping further. So you can see right here, price did not close, it did not reject off it, right? It closed below it. So the two different scenarios here is that price will either close below, it'll either keep dropping, or it'll bounce back up and just fake out back to the upside. But you can see right here, this is a scenario that we were looking for. Basically, we were looking for price break and close above it, looking for the retest, meaning that price doesn't close below this sessions here, just rejects off it. It failed to reject off it, actually closed below it. And then now one of two things will happen. Price will either continue dropping, or it'll fake out back into this area. So yeah, there's 3 different steps for that confirmation of the bias. But if you look back to where it was earlier, it's literally back to where it was before it even broke out. So it's back into the range again right here. And this is why you guys want to wait for the confirmation, right? Because like, check this out. If you guys took this buy over here, you would have gone burnt for a sell. If you took the sell below here, you've gone burnt for the sell. So either way, you would have taken losses in either direction if you wouldn't have waited for the confirmation of direction. So, I mean, just looking at this from a bigger point of view, it's really just a big range. Price is ranging between here, and I'll show you on the clean chart. Or actually, I can mark it up here. Let's see, I'll mark it up at 630 right here. Although it's easier to see here on the clean chart. So this is the clean chart right here. And you can see that price is literally just in a big range. So 630 right here is a market open, price dropped, came back up, and it came back down. No direction, right? Generally, when the market moves in a direction, it'll push up, retrace, and continue pushing, right? That's normal market movement. For today, like basically this entire week, market has been like this. It's just been in a huge range. And it just keeps going back to the same area where it was when market opened. Let me mark up news price over here so we can identify that. News price was right over here at 645. It's right next to the, it's like literally right next to the opening price. Let me take this off. It's just messy to have too many lines on the chart. So I don't really like having too many lines on the chart, but you can see here on the clean chart, it's a bit easier to see. This is where market opened, this blue line. And this is where price currently is. Price literally just went up, it went down, up, back down. So realistically, it's just been in a huge range since open. Market open right here at 630. And price is right back at where it was earlier. Right around this area. So until price breaks away from that and confirms that it's pushing in a direction, that's when you look for trades in that direction. But currently right now, there's no direction. Price is just going sideways. It's been like this for I think the better half of this week. It wasn't like this all last month. Most of the days were actually trending. But currently right now, price is literally just going back and forth. And I keep referring to this area right here, right? Look where the sessions is and look where the opening price is. This is where price likes to sit. It just likes to sit right here. So until you get a confirmation of this, break, retest, confirm, I'm not looking for any buys. I'm looking for buys overall, but until I get this right here, I'm not looking for any buys. Vice versa, I'm not looking for any sells until we get the same thing the opposite direction. Price will break below, retest, and confirm. Until I get this in either direction, I'm not looking for any trades, whether it's a buy or a sell. I'm looking for, I'm looking for a confirmation whether it ends up going in one way or the other. So let's go over to the 5. Nothing off the 5. Nothing off the 3. I mean, technically there's a V3 right here for the 3, but I think it's too big of a candle. Actually, it's not that bad. So there's technically a V3 here running for a sell, but I'm not looking for any sells because we don't have any confirmation of the direction yet, right? So until we have a confirmation of this, what I just drew up, then I'm not really looking for any direction of a trade here. Or I'm not looking at making any entries. And there you go. Price is just pulling right back into this range right here. So this is where it becomes dangerous because people start to get impatient and you start to take trades without even thinking, right? Like whenever you see the first push to the upside, you'll take a buy, price comes right back down. Vice versa, price comes down, like it just spikes down real quick. A lot of people chase that sell and then price just comes right back into the range. So the range is just right here. It's right down this middle. You could ignore all of this, ignore all of this. This is really where price is ranging. This is just noise. So you see price push up for a bit for like maybe 2 minutes, comes right back down. Pushes down for like 2 minutes, comes right back up. And then it ends up in the same area right here. And I think that's a problem with a lot of people too. They can't decipher the difference between the noise and the actual movement. The actual movement's like right here. This is all noise because it happens temporarily. It just spikes up, comes back down, spikes down, comes back up. But you can see where all the bodies are. The bodies of the candle are like right here in the middle. So I mean, other than that, it's not really much for us to look at the moment until we get, one of these confirmations here. Hopefully we get them soon because I mean, it's been a pretty dry week for me for the most part. I took one trade on Monday. Other than that, I've just been chilling for the rest, like yesterday and the day before that. Haven't really taken much. Here, let's see. Oh, I just saw your message, Rick. Yeah, and it was kind of hard to see earlier with all the lines drawn up because so Rick was talking about the confirmation of the bias right here. So price came up, this candle over here came down. It got close to the sessions right here, but it didn't come close enough, but it didn't end up rejecting off it. So that's what we're looking for. We're mainly looking for these break and retest of like crucial price points, which should be sessions, opening price, news price. Those are like the main ones. The liquidity, it doesn't matter too much. I mean, if there's no sessions or anything around those areas, then yeah, we can use liquidity. But for the most part, these are going to take precedent because they're stronger than the liquidity. Let's see, question over here from Addie. Addie's asking for entry into 5-minute V3, what do the recommended maximum? So there isn't really a maximum for it, Addie, but for the minimum, you want at least more than like 300 to 350 pips because the 5 minutes going to be a bigger move. Like, these candles here are pretty big. So you're usually going to get that. I'd probably set it around like 400 pips for a stop loss. Your max doesn't really matter too much though, because I mean, like you can see right here, right? There is a V3 right here. It's too small. I'm trying to look for a better V3 to show you, for example, but I mean, you kind of get the gist of it. There we go. Price starts to drop below. Price is now broken below here. I would not chase the sell here. Price, I don't think price will come up and retest because it's dropped too heavily. What might happen is price might come, or maybe it will, might come up, might come down, might bounce off the sessions down here. Let's clean this up over here. So what might happen is price might come down, test the sessions, and then bounce up. I don't think it's going to come back for the retest right away because it's just too big of a candle. Now I wouldn't chase it because it's always due for a retracement when it drops like that. And it drops like 500 pips in like 2 seconds. Rick said if there was a green candle after the red touching the... No, so there's no strategy off it, Rick. I think you're confused with like what the break and retest is. The break and retest is confirmed bias. Once you have the bias, you can start looking for trades for a buy. You don't just take a buy because bias has been confirmed, because price can still consolidate from that point. So I think you're trying to take a lot of shortcuts here. You're just trying to take whatever earliest point that you can enter, but it's not a strategy. So there's no break and retest strategy. It's just we're confirming the bias. Once you have the bias for a buy or a sell, then you can start looking for trades in that direction. But we don't have a bias. So like the first step before, like if you look at any strategy here, right? Like literally any strategy, the V3, V1, V2, you're looking for, maybe not the V1 because I haven't updated that one, but the V3, you're confirming the direction of bias. That's going to be one of the steps. So before you even take any entries, you have to confirm the bias. You can't confirm the bias unless you can confirm that that move has happened. So trying to see if that like makes sense to you, Rick, because I think you're trying to take a lot of shortcuts here. You're trying to you're looking to get like as early into a move as possible, but that's why like, you know, people blow their accounts because they're not patient to wait for the actual move. You got to actually wait for everything to play out. And, you know, that's why there's a difference between people who are consistent with trading or people who get lucky and they pass and then they fail it right after, because you just got to have consistency with your trades. If you go for the risky moves, you're not always going to win, right? You're going to win until you don't win. And when you don't win, you're going to lose really big. And that's how a lot of people end up losing their accounts, losing their funded accounts, stuff like that. But yeah, there's no specific strategy. Just to confirm, guys, there's no strategy for the bias. The bias is just a step before looking for entries. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. Solange is asking, with bias confirmation, does the third candle have to close past the wick of the first candle? Hey, Solange, let's keep these questions for like the mentoring session because we're still looking for trades here. For that specific question, we went over that in detail in the last in the last 2-3 mentoring sessions. So I just don't want to get people confused here because we're looking for trades and I don't want to be explaining something and we miss a trade. So if you want to go over that, Solange, either look at the last 3 mentoring sessions for the past 3 weeks, or we can go over that at the end. It's still 7:04. I know we have an hour on the market left, so give me at least like 30 or 40 minutes and I'll go over that question again later if you really want me to go over it. But I think your confusion is, or not confusion, but your question is the close past the high. So, because I can't rewind here and show you, it's just going to get in the way. If I rewind right here, we're going to not be focusing on the actual chart at the moment. I was just explaining to Rick how that's not a strategy, because Rick thinks it's a strategy. He's asking, where do you enter the buy? You don't enter a buy after any of those. It's just confirming bias. So, all right, back to the charts over here, guys. Not really much going on right here, but we do have some more liquidity that's getting built around these areas. So we got liquidity right here. We got liquidity down here. And at this point, price is just now into a bigger range. Price is kind of just consolidating within this area. In order for us to confirm, so going back to what I was talking about with the bias, price is closed below the sessions right here, right? So this is step 1. Step 2 is a retest. So this is what you'd be looking for, Twanji. I'll just answer your question here because we're already at this point. So what we were just talking about right here was, see how price broke below? And you see how price is retesting? When price retests like this, it creates another low. So that confirmation that you're looking for is for price to close below this line right here. This is a question that you have. And it's just perfect because it lined up exactly with what we're looking for at the moment. So hopefully that makes sense for you right there, Solange. This is the low that price needs to break. Not the wick, the low. So yeah, confirm. Yeah, I think you're going to get confused if you keep using the wick. You're using the low right here. Because there can be a wick right here and there's no low, right? So if you're talking about the wick, you can be thinking about this right here, which is not what you're looking for. It's got to be the low. It could be a pending low that's disappeared. Yeah, it could be the pending low that's disappeared, or it can be one that's still withstanding. So as you can see right here at this point, price is testing this sessions, right? If price ends up closing above this sessions, this whole pattern here becomes disqualified, right? It's no longer valid. So when price reaches this point, one of two things will happen. Price will either close above and push right back up to this area here, or price will reject off it and come back below. So right here, we have the rejection. This is step 2. And I'll put the steps right here. Steps to confirming bias on the technical side. So first you want to confirm price, break and close, structure. To confirm price, retest structure. Reconfirm price, break, close, past, recent high low. So that's basically what you're looking for. It's not really that difficult. It's a 3-step process. Price broken close below here. Second step, price retest structure. It's retested right there. Third, you want to confirm price break and close past recent high low. So this is a recent high low right here. We're just looking for that third step. If this doesn't happen, where price ends up, closing below this low, then price can just keep ranging. But it can happen it doesn't have to happen right away. It can keep going sideways as long as price doesn't close above here. And just add this right here. Note price breaks and closes past initial structure. Validated. So it's really simple, guys. I know it seems kind of difficult at first because you guys are probably not used to seeing it, but I've been doing this every day for the past couple months now. So you guys can kind of see the steps of confirming the technical bias. Because the thing is here's what I want to remind you guys. We have the bias here for retail sentiment, right? It's 59% short. So this is telling us to take buys. The fundamentals over here are bearish. So this is telling us to take sells because it's below 100 points and it's been consistently below that. We have conflicting biases, right? In order for us to have a confirmed bias, we need to confirm it on the technical side. So in order for us to have this to take sells here, we need to confirm the technical bias. In order to confirm that, we're looking for this here. If this ends up closing below this line, then this is going to confirm the bearish bias. So this is what we're looking for here. Nice, Nick. Nick said we're back. Got my funding credentials for his funded account. Yeah, definitely nice work. Other than that, we're still looking for this to close below here. Their price has closed. We're definitely looking for some sells now. Yeah, no problem, Solange. I know because we covered this during the mentoring session, so I wasn't sure if you didn't catch it, but I'm glad that I could confirm it for you right there. But no, you're good. All right, there we go. So price is now below this point. You can see price is still dropping lower. This is what Rick was asking before with his question. He was asking if price ends up closing there, enter a sell, or vice versa. If this happened for a buy, enter a buy. I wouldn't enter a buy or a sell there because price can still bounce around this area. Just because it confirmed doesn't mean it's going to keep dropping. It can pull back up and then just range around this area right here. But with the confirmation right there, we can now look for some sells. Other than that, hey Brock, how's it going? All right, so right here, we're looking for any possible entries for a sell. So we did confirm the bias. Just add this as a template. All right. So we can look for any variations here, variations, high lows, triple confluences, anything like that, really. We just need to confirm some sort of entry. There's no entry available right now, but hopefully it comes up soon. We can start looking for some possible entries here for a sell. So the reason why we're looking for a sell here right now, this isn't going to be long-term, this is going to be temporary. The reason why we have a temporary sell is because fundamentals are currently a sell right now, and the technicals have confirmed it. But there is no sell entry. So just keep that in mind. Just because there's a sell bias doesn't mean there's a sell entry. And this is exactly why I don't recommend you guys enter sells right away, because price can just swing right back up. The point that you're looking for right here is going to be this area. You don't want price to come back above the sessions, because if price comes above the sessions, then it can switch the bias, right? We can look for that same pattern, but above here. Price can push above here, retest, and then the bias changes back to a buy, right? So this is exactly what I was telling Rick, that there's no strategy here to take for this bias, because you're just confirming bias. If you would have taken a sell right there, like Rick mentioned, he probably would have blown his account by now, right? Well, not maybe close to it, because if you have your stop loss right there, because I know how you trade, Rick, and you like to go high lot on like these small little moves here. And if you went high lot with 300 pip stop loss, you would have hit your stop loss already. Right there. So just a reminder, guys, there's no strategy behind this bias confirmation. It's just a confirmed bias. Okay, good. No, and I'm glad you're using 2 and 4 lots. You're not using like a 10 lot or a 15 lot. I know Steven used to use like 15 lots before too. And I was like, he was using like a 15 lot on a small account. So he was definitely over leveraging, but he's good better now. He's not doing that anymore. Anyways, back to this over here. So let's see, Angela over here. She's usually trading GJ. So she locked in 732 this morning. Nice work, Angela. Looks like Milzon over here took the breakout this morning for the sell, locked in a total of 445. Nice work, Milzon. Dell over here took the breakout as well, locked in a total of 590. Nice work, Dell. And then going down over here, David took the trade over here as well, locked in 54. Yeah, no, definitely. David said, thank God, end the month with profits. Definitely. Charles over here as well took some buys, locked in a total of 57 off this account. His other account locked in a total of 96. So nice work, Charles. Other than that, Steven over here. So Steven locked in a total of 1,132. He took 2 sells right here off the breakout, locked in profit for both, total profit of 1,132. So great work right there, Steven. So, just a reminder, Steven just takes the breakouts. That's pretty much it. Takes the breakouts, calls it a day, locks in about 1,000 a day. That's his goal. And then he goes back to whatever he does in the morning. Other than that, Andreas over here locked in a total of 171. Nice work, Andreas, for that breakout earlier. And then Kenny over here as well locked in about a total of 518 off the breakout. You can see the sells he took here at 635. Those are from the breakout earlier this morning. So yeah, I mean, other than that, that's about it for now. All right, back to the chart. You can see price is kind of just going sideways at this moment. The bias is still a sell. So like, as I mentioned earlier, guys, the thing that you want to look out for is if price ends up breaking closing above the sessions. So overall, the bias is still a sell, but there's no entry here for us to take at the moment. We're basically just waiting for it to provide a sell entry, or if not, swing in bias for a buy, and then possibly look for trades in that direction. But currently right now, there's just nothing for us to look and take at the moment. Rick said, hoping we go back to the open now. Yeah, price ends up closing above this sessions right here, then it can continue pushing up. But it hasn't. It's just tested it right there. Let's go back over here. Fundamentals are currently 180 points in the red. Retail sentiment is currently 59% short. So this, I mean, unfortunately, this is not going to be a V3. This technically could have been a V3 if there was a pending sell, but there's no pending sell at this moment. This could possibly be a V2 actually. So possible V2. V2 is going to be right here. But there's no pending momentum. So unfortunately, there's not going to be an entry off this point. I mean, it's technically, if you're using the original V2 or V3, this would technically be one, but there's no, I'm not going to take it, Maddie. There's no pending signal for it. It would have been nice though. Yeah, there's no pending sell signal, so I'm not going to take it. There you go. So as you can see right here, this is a new requirement. The pending momentum is not one that we used before. Unfortunately, we wanted to be more careful, so we added that to it. So this wasn't a requirement before. If you have followed like the strategy without that requirement, this would have been a V2 and it would have hit full TP right there. But I mean, it's all good. You know, I'd rather be more confident with my trade and more sure that it's going to hit TP rather than take these risky moves. But as you can see, you know, if you're using the original V2 without the pending momentum, this would have been a full TP. So as you can see, the strategies still work perfectly fine. It's just we start to refine them over time so that they have a higher win rate, because the last thing we want for you guys to do is over leverage on one trade and then end up blowing your account, right? If you guys have the very best strategies to apply and you guys are using proper risk and you're using proper lot sizes, you should have no problem passing FTMO or even growing your personal account. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, this would have been a V2. Unfortunately, there was no pending signal, so we didn't take it. But if you did take it the original way, this would have been an entry for the V2. And as you can see right here, price did not close above the sessions, right? So the bias is still a sell. Rick actually took the sell. So Rick was in a buy. He was in a 2-lot buy, but then he took the sell here and he made the profit off it. So nice work. Nice recovery, Rick. Maddie said 58% short now. People are buying the dip. Yeah, I can see that. Man, this has been like the worst NFP week and for the whole year. Like this whole year, NFP has been like pretty heavy for us. We made so much profit on like the first in January. If you guys remember, I made like my biggest profit in January during NFP. And then last month was good too. And February was good too. But this month has just been, I don't know. The volatility is not the same as it was before. Maybe it's because of the war. I think it's because of the war probably. Because the war wasn't going on last NFP or the NFP before that. When the war started, the NFP started getting kind of weird. Before it was so directional. Now it's kind of just, it's a lot of ranges going on. All right, anyways, the bias is still for a sell, but there's no actual sell entries that have come up yet, which sucks because I'm trying to take advantage of the sell bias. Yeah, this is a V3 right here, Henry, but it's not an entry because you have to trade in the direction of bias, and the bias is a sell right now. So fifth requirement right here, confirm trading in the direction of bias. Everything did line up with that right there. However, a few things to note. Stop loss is too small. So stop loss needs to be at least 300 pips because you need to cover the spread. It's going to be impossible to cover the spread unless you do. So you need stop loss to be at least 300 pips. This is only about 15 or 150. but it's got to be, so you can see right there, if you, this is what some people do sometimes. If they see a V3, they'll go for the TP, but they'll just make their stop loss wider. So they'll have a negative risk toward, which is okay. You can do that. If you're fine with the risk, you can do that. But yeah, this would have been the move right here, Henry. The only problem is that, so one red flag is that the stop loss is too tight. The second red flag is that the bias is for a sell right now. So that's why I wouldn't have, well, that's why it wouldn't have been a V3. But some people like to skip steps, right? So if you want to skip steps, guys, you're more than welcome. But you got to understand that you're taking like a huge risk when you skip steps here. Because I see a lot of people that will skip, they'll skip this step 5, and they'll also skip step 4. So these two right here, they don't look for pinning momentum and they don't look for direction, which is fine. If you guys are okay with taking trades like that, you know, great. But just don't like understand that, like, don't get mad if you lose a trade because you did skip a step there. So other than that, let's see. Yeah, John actually took it. So he said, I took the risky V3 and hit TP. Nice work, John. So John actually took the trade there for the V3 that I marked up. And he made profit off it. He took this trade right here. Yeah, Maddie said, those are probably the most important requirements in my opinion. Yeah, no, same here. Same with me. That's why we have such a high win rate, because although we do have a lot of requirements here, like these requirements are set in place for a reason. You know, they're not just put there for you to miss trades. They're there to make sure that you guys take only the best trades, you know, quality trades. Because the thing is, if you can lock in a few trades a week, you should be perfectly fine with, you know, passing your FTMO or getting funded or staying funded or growing your personal account. Right. Anyways, Rick said, I blame all my hardships on Sean. Right. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. I think that's it for right now. But as you guys can see, when we had that confirmation of the bias change right here, price just continues dropping, right? And that's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. If you guys have a bias here, like for example, you have a sell bias, you just take sell entries and you just make money, right? Vice versa. If you have a buy bias, you just take entries in that direction, you keep making money that way as well. So hopefully a lot of this stuff is making sense to you guys, or it's starting to make sense. I know there's a lot of new people in K2, so this might be like brand new to you, but if you guys have been part of K2 for a while, you know, you guys are able to decipher exactly what I'm trying to explain here. Henry is asking, if we take 2 trades a week on a 2.5 lot, we would need to have big profit. I mean, it just depends, Henry. I don't know what you mean by big profit targets. Or like what's considered big, because it's subjective, right? A big could be 1,500, big could be 3,000, big could be 500, big could be a lot. I mean, it just depends on what you're referring to. Because if you're doing 2.50 lots, and it also depends on your account size. Like this, you know, if you're using a 200K account, you're not going to be using a 250 lot. This just makes zero sense. You need to understand like what proper risk is for your account size. So there's a lot of different factors: your account size, what you consider a big pip target, you know, and what your profit goal is. Because you're not going to take this on you're for sure not going to take this on 100K, and you're not going to take this on a 200K, because it's going to be impossible for you to pass, right? You're talking about making, let's say 500 pips right here, 2,500 times, you said 2 trades. So 2 trades, actually, no, you're fine, because your profit goal for the 100K count is, I'm pretty sure it's like 5 or 10K, right? So you do this times 4, you would have passed your FTMO. So, I mean, if you could provide more details, I can probably be more specific, but it looks like you could pass it if you did that properly with a 100K count, but you're going to be right at point, so it's not feasible. See. So Henry's asking 100K account size, most targets seem to be 300 pips. So if your target is 300 pips, you have to increase your lot size. It's just basic math, Henry. Like, if you try to just do this, your goal is 10,000, right? To pass your FTMO. If you're using a 2.50 lot size times 300, it's impossible for you to reach your goal. Like you'll never reach it. For 2 trades a week, it's impossible. You'd have to increase your lot size to a 5 lot. If you do a 5 lot and you're going for 300 pips, you make 1,500 per trade. So 2 trades a week times 4, you're well over your profit goal. So it's just basic math, guys. It's not that difficult. I mean, a lot of people like get tripped up about like what lot size to use, how many trades to take. It's just basic math, right? Like if you're using FTMO, your lot size is going to be a dollar amount. So if you're using a 5 lot, it's $5 per pip. If you're going for 300 pips, you make 1,500 with that trade. Multiply that by 2 or 3 trades. You said 2 trades a week. That's 3,000 a week. You multiply that by 4 weeks in a month. That's 12,000. That would have been over your goal right there. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's like basic math. I mean, if you guys can put the logic together, like how much profit you need to make, how much each pip is worth, you can do the calculation. It becomes very simple. So yeah, Henry, if you're going to be doing a 100K lot, I think you should be using a bigger lot size. A 2.50 is not going to be, it's not going to cut it because you're not even risking more. You're not even risking 1%. You got to make 10% to pass. Yeah, no, exactly. Maddie said you'll pass the challenge with two or three trades a week. Yeah, as long as you're using proper risk management. If you're taking more trades, then yeah, you can do a 2.50, but typically you're going to need a bigger lot size if you're only looking to take 2 or 3 trades a week. Yeah, no, exactly what Maddie said. Just got to focus on not losing. It's key. B's asking, isn't 1% essentially 10% of FTMO since 100K account? No, 1% is 1%. How'd you get the 10% from there? Because the thing is, if you have 100% in your account's 100K. If you lose 1%, which is 1,000, you're still at 99%. So it doesn't make a difference if you're on FTMO or personal account or whatever. 1% is 1%, which is $1,000. Yeah, you can't lose 10%, but I think you're confusing 1% with 10. Like 1 and 10% are they're way different. 1% is 1K, 10% is 10K. If you're risking 1%, you're only risking 1K. So you're risking one of the 10,000 that you can lose. B said, I'm more so meaning since the account balance is technically 10K. I'm really confused with your question, B, because 1%, maybe you could like break it down a little better, because you're asking if 1% is the same as 10%. They're totally different. If you're risking 1% of, Rick said, can we do a K2 math class? All right, guys, I'm gonna go back to the charts. You guys probably help in the chat, but yeah, I mean, if you guys could break down or B, if you want to break down the question better, I can probably help you answer it. No, I know. No. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh, but no. Quick answer to your question is no. So B said, okay, so 100K lot is basically no. You're 100% wrong, B. I don't know where you got that. I don't know where you got. Yeah, okay, I'm back to the chart. Sorry, guys. But no, you're like 100% off, B. I don't know where you got that from, but I don't understand what you because B said, okay, you have a 100K account, you only have 10K account. No, it's a 100K account, but you could risk X amount. All right, anyways, back to the charts. All right, yeah, thanks, Lila. Yeah, Lila said allow some of the veterans to answer and you stick to the charts. All right, so back to the charts, guys. B, just you can talk in the chat. Someone will probably be able to explain it to you. But short answer to your question is no, you're completely off with your analysis there or your understanding of how a funded account works. All right, so let's see. All right, other than that, let me go back to the charts. There's not really much going on here. As you can see, price is literally just bouncing around this area. And it hasn't confirmed a bullish bias. It's still in the bearish bias. So if you guys remember from earlier, I mentioned that if price was to break and close above this green line right here, then we can have an attempt to switch the bias, right? The bias right now is technically still a sell. I can't even see this candle right here. Damn, I think I missed this. I think this might have been a V3, but this candle here was just too small to really see. No, this was a green candle right here. Or yeah, it's too small to see. Because the thing is, if this was a high and this was a red candle, this would have been a V2 entry. So if that was a V2, then we could have taken this for 100 pips right here. And it would have hit TP. So that would have been a V2 entry if it was, but it wasn't. So unfortunately it wasn't. There was also news on that candle right there. I keep forgetting there was news right now. So we did have news right there at 7:30. So you didn't really move very much. All right, so not really much going on. I mean, same old, same old. Price is just doing what it does. Let me go over here real quick and I will, oops, draw liquidity around these areas on a clean chart. Get you guys a better picture of like what is showing up here. All right, so price is now broken above that green line I was referring to earlier, guys. Now that it's broken above, we can see if the bias is now changing. If this switches to a bullish bias, then I'm 100% going to be interested in buys because the thing is, our overall bias was a buy anyways. So it's starting to finally swing to the upside, which is great. It's what I was looking for this entire session. So, all right, price is now above that green line that I just marked up for you guys there, or that was marked up. You can see that it now has broken above it. We were looking for the retest. It might not come down for retest, but we'll see where it goes from there. Anyways, the news this morning, well, not this morning, but that just happened a couple of minutes ago. It was negative, which is surprising. So, yeah, the news was negative. Price did drop slightly and then it came right back up. Jermaine said, think it'll drop when Putin speaks in 20, 30 minutes. Honestly, I have no idea. The whole Putin thing, or I mean, Putin's a little different. I mean, the whole war thing, it doesn't really set a direction in the market. It's not kind of like how when Biden speaks, price kind of drops. When Powell speaks, price goes up. When there's like war updates, it can be good or bad, right? It just depends on like what Putin says. Like if Putin says, okay, we're going to end the war, then great. You know, price will go back up. If he says war is going to keep going on, price might go down. So I don't know exactly like what will happen when he says, you just have to watch the chart. Just like follow the chart as he says things, look how price starts to react to it, whether price goes up or, you know, price goes down. Other than that, Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. No, so nothing else that I'm missing here. Price is pushing above. Price did not confirm the bullish buy, so I wouldn't recommend chasing the buy yet, guys, because the buy right here is it hasn't retested, right? So it's gonna have to come back and retrace a little bit. What we could also see here is if price ends up breaking, closing above opening price or news price over here, because you can keep pushing up, but nice. Rick is still holding on to his buy from earlier this session. D said, "Man, I'm itching for a solid valid entry." No, same here. I mean, I've been dry for like the past couple weeks. Well, not past couple days. Sorry, I don't know. I said weeks. I haven't taken any trades in the past, like I think 3 or 4 days. I've only taken one trade this whole week, which was a win. I mean, literally, it's just one trade. So like the week started here on like the 28th. I took one trade on the 28th. It wasn't even a big trade either. It's a normal trade, but literally nothing else for the entire week so far. So Charles over here locked in 112. Nice work, Charles. And then his other account locked in 167. So nice work right there too, Charles. So solid profit across accounts right there. No V3s, no V1s, no entries here at all. Nick said, good thing I took most of this week off. I know you're waiting for your funded account to come in, right, Nick? Which is probably a good time for you to be off the charts anyways, because there just hasn't been very many entries. It's, I mean, there's been risky entries, but not necessarily ones that I would consider are like, good entries in general. Patrick's asking, Sean, you stopped trading Asia pre-market? Yeah, I haven't traded Asia pre-market in probably the last 2 months. Yeah, I haven't traded all March. So, yeah, for the most part, I haven't traded during, and I don't plan on trading during those sessions, probably not anytime soon or ever again, really. Because the thing is, ever since I cut out Asia session, in pre-market, I've just been having nothing but wins. Like the whole month of March has been good. It was the choppy month, but I still did really good with like pretty much no losses. Of course, the profits were a lot less because I took less trades, but no losses and less stress. That's the main thing. So, I would exchange less profits for less stress and more consistent probability of winning. So yeah, I don't trade Asia or pre-market anymore. Maddie, Maddie said, good profits today. I'm glad I didn't take any trades. I can see a lot of blown accounts today. Yeah, no, exactly. Maddie has nothing here. Same with mine. I got no trades on my account, unfortunately. Fortunately and unfortunately. It's fortunately because I didn't have any losses, which is a good thing, because I would have been pretty pissed today if I had a loss. If I waited all week and then I ended up taking a risky trade and end up losing. But yeah, no, for the most part. Because if you guys look here, so here's a clean chart, right? I can already see where a lot of people will hop into trades. Like for example, here, when the market opened at 630, when price dropped below here, I'm sure a lot of people entered some sells at this point, not in K2, obviously, because you guys are listening to me here. You guys want to chase these moves here, but there's a lot of areas here where people would chase moves, right? I can see exactly where. So price opened right here, and I can show you, because I'm sure this is what a lot of people saw. Market opened right here at 630. They saw price bouncing off the sessions and they came down. What happens when you see this? Like usually when this happens right here, you see a lot of people chase into this move, right? People enter a sell and then they put their stop loss like right there, right at opening price, right at the swing, right? Somewhere around there. If you put your stop loss around that point, some people like putting it a little higher, some people like putting it right at it. If you entered a trade right there, you've gone stopped out, right? And I'm sure this happened to a lot of people, not in K2, because you guys have been listening to my analysis and you guys have seen that I've been, very careful with my trades here. Again, right here, price pushes up. And the people who got stopped out right here, what happens? People revenge trade, right? They see the sell here, they get stopped out. They're like, man, they get all mad. And they're like, okay, price is pushing back up over here. And when they see price push back to the upside, like this, right? Someone sees this move here, what happens? They enter a buy and they do the same exact thing. They put their stop loss like somewhere below here. And they think price is going to go in their direction and they get stopped out again. Right. So this is why you guys got to be very careful with the entries that you guys take. You know, I'm giving you guys this analysis for a reason, and I'm not taking trades for a reason. I'm not hopping into these random trades here because I've fallen for these traps. Like, you know, I've been trading for like 11 years, guys. So I've taken a lot of L's in that time period. And I see this pattern play out all the time. You know, market opens, it pushes in a direction. There's no bias. People enter it. They get stopped out. They enter it the other way. They get stopped out, and they just keep getting stopped out both ways. So I'm just trying to give you guys like what I've learned over the years. Hopefully you guys will learn from it too. Because now that I've been more careful, more disciplined with my entries, I rarely lose trades, and you guys see it here on the live. You know, I literally never take like random trades. I never take impulse moves. I don't revenge trade. I don't overtrade. I just, you know, I just wait for those perfect entries, which hasn't happened today. Yeah, professor said I'm finally getting with a challenge. Not taking a loss is almost as big as having winning trade. Yeah, no, exactly. And I agree with you, professor. Rick said I have one thing. The one thing I have over Sean is I've got more L's, which is fine, Rick. I know this. I mean, this is still somewhat new to you, so you're just like how I was, like, you know, 10 years ago. I was taking L's left to right, but now I'm like a lot better. And I didn't get better until like maybe 2 or 3 years in. So if you guys had just started trading, you guys just the beginning. All right, there's a V1 right here for a buy. Let's see if I can get into it. Might be too late. Let me see. I can put a buy stop right there and catch it as it swings back up. So there's a V1 right here. The V1 that everyone is referring to is this right here. It looks like I'll put a buy stop there. I'll try to catch it as it swings up. Let's see where it's at. Check what the bias is around. So the fundamental bias is still bearish, obviously. Retail sentiment is currently 59% short. So overall bias is still going to be bullish. So let's see if this will push up. All right, cool. Right there. Oops. Wrong thing. Alert set right there. All right, hit my TP. Great. All right, cool. So hit my TP right there. It's a quick little move. Nothing too crazy. So quick little V1 right there. Hopefully you guys caught it. You guys had some opportunity there to enter late. It's a quick little move. So I'll give you guys a little update there. At least I got one in the bag for today. Nothing crazy, but Rami said caught it finally. Yeah, I know exactly right. I mean, waited literally all session for that. A little update there. Nice. Looks like some of you guys here caught it too. So Patrick over here caught it, locked in at 1,000 off that quick 100 pips, total of 5,658 for the day. So nice work, Patrick, off that. Maddie over here pulled out a little early, locked in a total of 1,000, or sorry, 1,160 right there. Nice work, Maddie. So great work right there. Kenny over here too also took it, locked in a total of 751 for the day. So great work right there, Kenny. All right, guys. So great work, everybody. I mean, if you guys were patient and waited for these entries here, I mean, there's one that came, it blew right through it right there. Yeah, I think skyrocketing right now. That thing go to the moon. Yeah, nice work right there, Eunice. Let me just update this real quick. So as you guys can see, my overall bias was bullish, right? This is the reason why, because I didn't think price was going to push up. It didn't happen initially, but eventually I figured it's going to go up because the sentiment was so high. Andreas over here as well, locked in a total of 498. Nice work, Andreas. Other than that, let me take a screenshot of mine too, just to show you guys, you know, I just want to be as transparent. I always try to tell you this, like I try to be as transparent so that you guys can see that when I tell you, I'm setting a buy stop, I'm really setting a buy stop. I'm not messing around because I want to lock in something here. So here's my profit off my main account, and you guys will see it has a green strip because I just let the TP hit. Here's my copier, locked in, same amount. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. If you guys can wait for these like quality entries, I mean, this is all you guys really need. I didn't take that many trades this week, but the few trades that I did take, they're all quality. So I'm happy with what I got for today. All right. It's good. I don't know why my TFT account only locked in like 500, which is weird. All my other accounts locked in 1,000. My TFT only locked in 585. I don't know if their spread has gone crazy or what. I don't know. Oh, that's why. Fuck. Whack. It took a half lot size. That's why. I need to fix that on my copier. All right. Well, anyways, here are my profits from that trade, and you can see they add up. So, okay, that's what I got to do. I got to go fix my copier. All right. So TFT is all right. It's just, it took a half lot size. Anyways, here are my profits from that trade right there. Yeah, no, there's no lag. I mean, it's not necessarily a lag. It's just a slippage that happens. But it's not the same with TFT because this is a half lot size. So if you multiply that by 2, so 585 times 2, I would lock in 1,170. So it's just a lot size. I forgot to change the max lot size for my copier. But here's my main account locked in 1,090. As you can see the green strip, I let it hit TP. This is my copier, my FTMO locked in 190. Here's my MFF 1,100. And then my other MFF 1,100 as well, plus my TFT. Unfortunately, I used a half lot size. So I just locked in partial, well, half of it. So as you guys can see, if you guys are confident about the trades that you guys take, you don't have to worry about anything, right? I took the trade, I let it run. Went to TP and I let it hit TP. That's like a difference. That's a difference that makes that's when you'll start to feel the difference when you're like a good trader or not, right? Because a good trader is is taking a trade and understanding that price is going to go to your TP no matter what. So if you can take a trade and not stress out over it, that's how you'll know that you're getting better as a trader. A trader that's still getting there is you'll take a trade, but you'll still be stressing out. Because like, for example, right here, I'm sure some people are stressing out if they entered and price didn't hit TP right away. So like for the first like minute or two, they were kind of tripping out and all of a sudden hit TP and they're like close out early, right? Because you were probably stressed out and worried that it wasn't going to hit. That's when you can start to realize that like, you're starting to get better as a trader. Because when the trade psychology doesn't really bother you as much, that's how you know that you're really getting it. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. I've been trading for years now, so I've grown thick skin. So like, I'm okay with taking losses. I'm okay with taking wins. It's the same difference for me. Yeah, I mean, if you guys do this enough and experience enough wins, you guys will see that it's just a game, right? Like trading is literally a game. It's a game of identifying the perfect entries and taking them versus taking, like 100 entries and losing half of them, coming out break even. Because that's the worst feeling. I've had that feeling before where I've taken like maybe 50 trades and then I win half and I lose half. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, damn, if I would have just avoided this, and this loss, I would have been so heavy in profit. So for me now, I just go for the perfect trades. I don't look for every trade. I only look for the best trades. Yeah, no, exactly. Maddie said game of probability. It's really what it is. Nice, guys. Rain says, sound like you're talking to me, talking about me. It's a lot of people in the group. I mean, and I'm sure like, everyone goes through phases. Like I've seen people who join K2 and they leave K2 because they don't think it works. And then they blow their account joining another group. They come back to K2 and they start doing what we were actually doing. And then they realize that, it actually does make sense. But it's for everyone to understand, how to figure it out themselves. Cause it's just all everyone learns at a different pace. Some people learn right away. Some people are stubborn and they don't learn right away, which is fine. Yeah, no. Brock says you don't play hard to get with K2. Because I try to make it as straightforward and less confusing as possible, right? I try to give you guys like the exact requirements, like for the V1 here that we just took. I try to give you like, it's a step-by-step process. Confirm the high low. Like, let me go back to that entry. Where was it? It was like right here. Right, it's really hard to mess this up. The only reason you'd mess this up is if you try to do something that's outside of these requirements. So confirm the high low, right? High low was right there. Second, confirm the following candle is a high low with a double wick rejection. So right here, here's the high low, and there's a double wick, right? Two candles right there. Third, you confirm pending momentum. So in order to get pending momentum, you need the previous to be opposite. So you have an opposite sell signal. You're looking for a buy. There's a pending buy signal there. Like literally, if you take everything here step by step and you don't go off track with anything, like that's literally all you have to do. You set your TP stop loss, let it run, full TP. Not that difficult. So yeah, I mean, if you guys can follow directions and do things as they're supposed to be done, you should have no problem with just letting it do what it needs to do. Anyways, back to what I was saying over here. Let me see what else I'm looking at. Yeah, no, exactly. Brock said you'll eventually get your way back. Yeah, no, 100%. Let me scroll up real quick. So it's about to be 8 guys. So I think I'm pretty much done with my trading for the day. Unfortunately, we just had one trade. I mean, well, fortunately, but unfortunately, like I said earlier, market's been kind of trashed this whole week. But I'm glad that we got to lock in at least one trade this week or today. I only have 2 trades this whole week, which is fine. I'm cool with that because all of my accounts do add up at the end of the week. Let me scroll up real quick and see if I'm missing anything. Okay, so Madu's asking, hey, Sean, since market started bearish, is it starting to look bullish? Which direction do you think the reversal might be in? So you want to look at the market until like 9 o'clock, Madu. So let me go over here real quick. because I know what you're trying to do. We talked about this yesterday. So as you can see, the overall push here is still bearish, right? So market opened right here. And overall, it's still bearish. So you might want to look for a buy for the mid-market reversal. So right here, you can see overall, it's still bearish. What might happen here is price might continue dropping down and ranging. And then your mid-market reversal might be a buy. The reason why you're looking for a buy here as well, my dude, is because the retail sentiment is short. So overall bias here is going to be bullish. So you probably want to be looking for a buy later today. I know what you're doing, and hopefully it works out for you. Or you can always take smaller scalps within. You don't have to take the full move. So if you want to go for like maybe 500 pips or 1,000 pips, maybe 500 would be on the better side for you. Go for those little pushes. Pull out when it retraces, pull back in. That'd probably be best for you. Because like, for example, if you caught the low down here, quick 500 pips here and there could revive your account really, really quick. Scrolling down real quick. Let me see if there's anything else. B's asking, could you explain how buy stops work good since MT4 chart is usually different from TradingView? I like to start using them, but I'm confused on that part. So, there's different ways to do it. B, the easiest way is to right click on your chart, and then you can do so if you right click above where your price is currently at or below, it'll say something like when you right click, it'll say set sell limit or set buy limit. You can do that, or you can go to trading. So this is probably the better option. So for example, here, if you're trying to enter a buy stop at some point here, you just right click on your chart where you want to place it. You go to trading and it'll say set buy stop or set buy sell stop, just depending on where you click on the chart. From there, you can set it, or you can just click new order, and then you can set your details from there. I would recommend trying it on a demo first until you understand how to do it, because I know it is a little confusing, but the only way you'll learn is if you actually do it, right? I can't show you exactly how to do it because I could show you, and then when you do it on your own, you still don't know how to do it. So it's better to learn from like trial and error. You just right click on your chart, go to trading, and then you can either click new order if you know what the price is, or you can click buy stop or sell stop, depending on which direction you want to place it at. So it's not really different. Like you click on TradingView, it's the same thing. Where's the thing at trade? It's the same thing right here, right? It's literally the same thing. So it's not any different. TradingView, trade, you have this. It's the same thing on MT4. You click on it, instead of trade, it says trading. And it's pretty much the same difference. Other than that, let me scroll down and see what else I'm missing over here. Sorry, Solo, I just saw your question. You asked for pending V3 on the 5-minute. I don't see any V3 here. So no pending V3 on my end. B's asking, if you don't mind me asking, Sean, do you leave your profits in your funded? I never do. Cash out every month. No. So here's the thing. So B, let me go back to your question again. I'll just go more in detail. So you're asking, if you don't mind me asking, do you leave your profits in your funded or cash out monthly so you have better drawdown? You don't have a better drawdown. It's drawdown still the same. Or do you cash out every 2 weeks? I do monthly because I don't really need the money, obviously. I just, my monthly will carry over for the next month. So I don't need it like every 2 weeks, like a normal paycheck. It's like I do well for a month. I'm good for like the next couple months. So for me, I cash out like every month because the thing is your drawdown doesn't change. You could still lose 10% or 5% for your daily loss. So like say for example, and I've seen this with some people before. Example, so this person had a 200K account, right? End of month, left profit at 230K, right? And then the next day, like literally the next day after the payout, violated 5% rule or daily loss limit, but still at 200 and was like 25K or 220K, lost entire account. So this is why you want to take your profits out, because I've seen someone in the group who had a 200K account. They ended it at 230. They violated their daily loss the next day, literally the next day. they accidentally got like past, you know, the 10K daily loss limit, and then they lost the account. Even though they had 20K in it, they didn't make that 20K, they lost the entire account. So you don't want that to happen to you. So I would prefer, because the thing is, he could have taken out the entire 30, and then if he failed it, he would just go get another challenge. He just ended up throwing away like all his money. So that's something to keep in mind. Here, let me see anything else over here real quick. Okay, so Solange said, very last question on bias confirmation. Can it be done in 3 candles, or will a 3-step have to close past? No, so there's no, it can be done with a pending high, Solange. So it can be done on a pending high low. So like, say for example here, like say there was a high here or whatever, and then it disappears, right? That's why I keep the lines here. So if you guys have noticed, I don't remove the lines right away anymore if we're looking for bias, because I'm looking for the confirmation. So I'm looking for it to break, retest, and then break past it. So you can use it on a pending high low. It doesn't need to establish. Let's see. All right, cool, Maddie. Yeah, no, I'm down to take a look. 755 V3. Oh yeah, I can see it right here. Totally missed it, but it's okay. It was right at the opening price, so I wouldn't have taken it, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie saw this V3 right here at 755. Stop loss was too close, around 180 pips. You could have used the 300 pip stop loss and still went for the 180. However, you'd have to make it past the opening price right here. So that's why I wouldn't have taken it. But yeah, no, that is a V3 right there though. Yeah, Barack said, you're right, Sean, on what you said earlier, lesser confident positions and happy account. Yeah, no, exactly. B said, okay, I think I'll cash it every 2 weeks then. I thought the balance increased daily. So it increases your max loss, B, but not your daily. So you can still, I mean, you can still lose your account if that happens on there. See, Barack said, I feel I'm the opposite, and that's what I need to address. It's been my story for the last 3 days. Trade, make 2,350, recover it at the end of the day, closing the day like 200 in profit, kind of like being stuck, roll back, come back to where you've been stuck again, make it truth. Yeah, no, exactly, Brock. That's exactly how a lot of people are, right? That's why for me, I take like a couple wins and I'm done for the day. I don't keep trading. What Barack said is like, he'll win with us during the live session. He'll keep going, lose money, and then he'll make it back to break even. And he doesn't really make profit overall because it's such a back and forth progress. But yeah, no, definitely Barack. Yeah, you're right. Patrick was asking if this was a V2 as well. It was. So if you guys look over here for the V2, the V2 and V3 are very identical. They're basically the same strategy, except for the V2, you're going for a smaller TP, just 100 pips. And then you're also looking for a strong candle because it's a quick little push. The V3 is looking for a bigger push, more of a one-to-one risk reward. So you're going for a bigger TP and bigger stop loss. But, and for the most part, yeah, this was a V2 right here as well, Patrick. But yeah, guys, I think that's it. We're like way past the 8 o'clock time. So I think this is it for the mentoring for the trading session. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm hoping tomorrow during NFP, we'll have hopefully a more lively market where it's actually be moving more consistent. But I mean, overall, the market this week's been kind of trash. It is NFP, so just keep that in mind. It's also the end of the month. This NFP kind of fell on a weird week because NFP falls on the first week of every month. For some reason, I don't know why, but like usually if the week ends like this, like if it's the end of March, they would just start NFP on the following week. But for some reason, they ended up doing it today. Like I haven't seen it like this in like, I don't think ever, where it lands on the first day of the month. It's usually the first full week of the month, but whatever, it is what it is. It is NFP. So weird market. It's end of market as well. And yeah, hopefully next week will be a lot better. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out through email or Telegram. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna say there's 5 weeks this month. Yeah, it's weird because I've seen 5 weeks like in other months too, but it like the NFP never falls on the first day. Usually, if like say for example, if April is like on a Wednesday, right? So say if March is like ends on Tuesday and then it goes April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, then I would see NFP on that week. But now we're at like land exactly on the first day, which is weird, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, other than that, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Hopefully, you guys locked in some pretty solid profits so far today. Maria said, "Nice day, thank you, Sean." She locked in a total of about 1,000 over here, so great work right there, Maria. And I think that's it for the profits. If you guys have more profits to send in, just post them up and I'll add them to the list. Otherwise, we'll pick back up tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll close out this week strong. But if you guys do decide to trade, be careful, right? It's been a weird market all week. I don't think it's going to get any better within the next couple hours or so. So if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will